What's going on, YouTube sword community? So this is going to be the start of the new month-long review. It's going to feature Shadowdancer. Before we get into it, I know that there was some controversy with Shadowdancer a few months back. I reached out to Shadowdancer to do this review because I've owned a Shadowdancer, I've owned a Z-Say. I know people say that they're two different companies, but I've always felt them to be one and the same. They feel almost identical. The Z-Say is just done a little bit better. Like, there's a little bit more attention to detail paid. And you can see where your money goes with this product. I always felt like they put out a very good product. I felt like it was a lot of sword for the money. And I felt like they performed very well. So, hearing about the whole steel thing and all that, I kind of wanted to do a review just using the sword because both swords that I've had from both companies were fantastic cutting swords, and that's kind of what I'm going to display here with this, hopefully over this month-long review. And I feel like they do a lot of things well that a lot of companies kind of, skim over. I just feel like there's a lot of attention to detail paid with Shadowdancer and Z-Say. This sword is an Amazon Shadowdancer sword. I don't believe that it's on Swordies or any of the other distributors right now. Retails for about $5.80, I believe it is. I'll have to double check that. I'll put it in the in the video here somewhere. But Shinogi Zukuri, Gnome Hamon. It's got a lot of presence to it, but it's not unwieldy. It's very comfortable to use. It cuts extremely well. It came very sharp. It's not a super audible tool. It doesn't have a bogey or anything. You can definitely hear the tachikaze on it when you're dead on with it, but it's not going to be super loud and in your face like if it had a bogey or something like that. So, but really well done. Simplistic black sakura fittings, and it follows that theme throughout the sword, which is really cool. I wish more sword makers kind of did that and just picked a theme and just kind of stuck with it. Larger nodes on the Senmigawa, which is nice. I have Hanwei swords that were like $1,000 sword, and one side's nice and one side is like grip tape. So it's nice to see that obviously the Emote side is always going to be done better, but it's nice to see that attention to detail was paid on both sides, and they didn't just give you a nice same on one side and then give you whatever was on the floor after that, you know what I mean? But Tsukamaki's done very well. Diamonds are very even. Seem to stay centered down the Tsuka. I believe they use Hishigami here. I don't believe this is silk. It doesn't really feel like silk to me. But it's comfortable to use. Same thing with the Sageo. It's tied in the presentation knot. I left it like that for now just so I could show you guys that yes, it was in a presentation knot. There are Shidodome, and they have stayed, but that may change because I will be untying this. I just feel like it moves better in and out of the obi when this isn't tied this way. So, buffalo horn at both the end of the saya and the mouth of the saya. Koiguchi's done very well. There's your blade. Gnome Hamon. Free tone like Shashikome polish. Baki fit. It's very good. They just do a really good job at Shadowdancer. I've always really liked their blades. I always just wish they had maybe like longer Suka or longer Nagasa options. I know a lot of their blades are very similar in dimension. But first impressions wise, it's been very good. I'm enjoying it. Gonna get some cuts done. Put those in here as well. Use some of the unboxing footage. Yeah, it's really looking forward to using this for the month. It's been great so far. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Space Ghost out. So, like I said in the intro to this, I usually prefer a longer Suka and a longer Nagasa than what Shadowdancer offers. They tend to stay within the wheelhouse of like 10.5 Suka, 28-inch Nagasa. I'm actually really digging this one. I have a couple of blades in my collection now that do the same kind of dimensions. I got a fucking Dragon King Kohaku that's almost exactly the same, and I really enjoy using that. So I'm kind of like getting back into the shorter blades, but generally I still prefer a longer blade and a longer Suka. But this has been a nice change of pace. But this thing came packed really well. They did a really good job with it. A lot of packing squares. Really nice sword bag here. It's got like a textured design on it. It's not your standard solid colored sword bag. It's a nice little addition to see. You know what I mean? So obviously there's no sound on this unboxing. I tried to do this thing in the middle of the day. My kids were up. I should not have done that, but I wanted to try to get it done. Suka came shrink wrapped, which is always a good sign. Usually keeps it nice and clean. So I can come home from work and I'll wash my hands and pick it up and get the fucking Ito dirty as shit anyway. But had to grab the knife for this one to get it off. But very nice Tsukamaki on these swords always. Hishigami's used here. The Samegawa is very nice quality, like I had said earlier. There's larger nodes on this as opposed to like the grip tape, sandpaper looking stuff that sometimes you get. Nice iron fittings, Shidodome in the end cap there. I always like fumble over the technical terms, but I'm just showing this still again. Nice Manuki. I like how the sword follows a theme, kind of like a Hanwei or like a Dragon King would. They picked a theme and they stuck with it, and I really appreciate when they do that as opposed to just picking random things and just kind of throwing it together. It's like a pear skin kind of finish on this saya. It's kind of reminiscent of that Ram Byaku katana I had, at least the feel of it. It's obviously done much nicer with the bullhorn on both ends of the saya and the Kurigata, but yeah, it feels great in the OB, slides in and out really well. That presentation knot you guys probably aren't going to see after this video. I'm going to untie that and tie it the way I like it. It just moves in and out of the OB better for me that way. It came with the sword condom on it, which is another good thing to see. Sometimes when they ship these swords, if there's any kind of saya rattle or anything like that, they bounce around in there and they rub on the saya and they can ruin the polish. So it's nice that they took that the extra time to go ahead and wrap the blade. I tried to speed this up for you guys because I fumbled around with this thing for way longer than I should have. Probably should have just took it off camera, but so this is the level of polish that you can expect to see on the sword. It's very, very, very well done for the price. I have a Dragon King Kohaku that has the same exact Hamon, similar level of polish, and that's more money than this, and I feel like this is very comparable to that. Yeah, you can just see it. It's just Shadowdancer does an incredible job on these blades. Head and shoulders above a lot of other companies, and that's exactly what everybody was saying previously before the whole controversy thing happened. But yeah, I chose to do this review, man, because every Shadowdancer I've had and every Z-Say that I've had have been fantastic swords and have performed really, really well for the things that I do with swords. And that's kind of what I wanted to show them doing with this month-long review. I wanted to show them doing sword things that I do with my swords and show them doing it well, because they perform really well, and they look great. The fit and finish here is incredible. There's no ledges from the Suka to the fittings. The end knot does stand a little proud, but other than that, and there is a little bit of sire rattle, but other than that, it's been very, very good, fit and finish wise. Cutting, it does a fantastic job. It's been a joy to use and train with so far. I'm not very far into this review yet. I've only had it for like a couple days so far, but it's been doing everything that I've asked it to do. Everything that I've put in front of it, it's been able to handle. I've done some empties with it off camera. This is me cutting some like paper from my old lady's circuit machine. So it's kind of weird paper. It's not your standard printer paper or anything like that, but seems to be doing pretty well. Came very sharp out of the box. It didn't need anything. It's fucking rocking and rolling, and that's how it should be. When you get a sword, it should be sharp and should be ready to do what it's supposed to do. And this thing fit the bill here. I'm gonna take this thing down all the way to nothing. There we go. So you see it, the thing came very sharp right out of the box. Very well done. Straight, true. And just fit and finish wise, just, I don't know, man, just miles above most companies in this price range. There's something to be said for a Shadowdancer, or as you say, they just all the little things they do so well, that you don't really have to worry about the bigger things. They seem to do everything top notch. Save for this whole like steel debacle, but I never really got involved with it because I was never one of those S5 people. I never felt the katana needed to be S5 to work. 1060, 1095, 1070, all that stuff, T10, T8, all those sword steels, man, they're all more than good enough to do the kind of stuff that I do with my sword. So when that whole thing kind of happened, I was kind of like, I have my own personal opinions about like L6 popping out and all that other stuff, and yeah, when I order swords from these places, I stick with 1095 T10. That's usually what I order. It's usually a differentially hardened blade, and I've had great luck with that. Do I know for 100% certainty that it is what they say it is? No. But does it hold up to all the things that I put them through? Yes, and that's good enough for me in my mind. I don't need to know exactly what the steel composition of it is. What I need it to do is I need it to be sharp. I need it to hold that edge and stay straight and true when I cut. And these swords have always done that and excelled at performance cutting. So that's basically what I want to do with this review. I just want to kind of like remind people like, hey, like these were great swords, before we were fucking trying to see what was in the recipe, you know what I mean? And if they're still great swords, then they're still great swords. I also understand the other side of the coin, but I'm just kind of trying to show, kind of trying to be devil's advocate here and show the other side too. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys will stick around and see the rest of this month of the Shadowdancer review. Space Ghost out.